Lake Show getting a deal done before Thursday's deadline?
I've said it before a week ago. I say it to you again. I don't think so. I sincerely hope, Max, that you are right, and I'll leave it to you to decide as to why you think you will be. I'm telling you that I don't think this is going to happen. I think that the Lakers have pretty much offered the farm. They've offered a couple of first-round picks. They've offered Kuzma, Ingram, Lonzo Ball, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. They've even shown an interest in taking back an ultimately bad contract to Solomon Hill, who has an addition. I don't say he's bad, but I'm just talking about the extra year.
No, you can say he's bad.
Okay, I'm just trying to be nice, but the bottom line is, he's got an extra year after this year on his deal. Now, obviously, as Woj reported accurately, the Pelicans want the farm. They want at least 4 picks, as many first-rounders as they can get, because you can't give up first-round picks back-to-back years and what have you. It has to be every other year. Those second-round picks, we all know that. Here's what I told you last week, and I'm telling you again. The league, owners, management, agents, everybody is against Rich Paul and the Lakers on trying to get this done. And actually, let me make sure I modify that. Even more so than the Lakers, because the Lakers are just a team trying to get one of its best players. They are against Rich Paul and LeBron James. They don't want this to happen. They think that it would set an absolutely awful precedent if a player under contract, not a free agent, but a player that's under contract through next season, somehow, some way managed to force his way out of his contractual situation a year and a half prior to that contract expiring. They don't view it the same as Kawhi Leonard, where Kawhi Leonard had only played 9 games. Was out, made it very, very clear that he was interested in going to L.A., but still had a year left because he was approaching the last year of his deal. So in other words, Max, if this had happened this coming summer with Anthony Davis approaching the last season, even though they wouldn't like it, it would be more plausible to some degree. But the fact that you still have this season to go, and you've got next season before his contract is up, it makes them sick to their stomach. They believe it sets the stage to set the kind of precedent that they don't want to follow from a league perspective, from a management perspective, and from a lot of agents out there who obviously, don't want Rich Paul to pull off this kind of heist. The odds are stacked against them. If they were to pull it off, I would be surprised because and I'm not saying it's accurate, but they basically put in Dell Demp's ear, you make this deal before Thursday's trading deadline, you're going to be fired. You're going to lose your job. That's basically what they did. And then, now, whether it's true or not, I don't know. I didn't speak to Pelicans management. I don't know that. But that's the kind of word, the scuttlebutt that they put out there, arguably in an effort to instill a level of fear that would make him wait until the summer where you have more assets, because when Rich Paul threw out the other 3 teams, that was an absolute joke. It's a smoke screen. Clippers don't have the assets. But the Clippers ain't trying to do nothing because they're trying to go after Kawhi Leonard. They think they got a shot. Milwaukee doesn't have the assets, and the Knicks couldn't get it done, and they tried when they had Porzingis. So Rich Paul knows better than that nonsense. Those 3 teams he put out was an absolute joke. Everybody knows it, but still, all that other stuff is very, very real.
The odds are against it happening, but I think it's going to happen. I know for everything you just outlined, the odds are against it happening. First of all, the Lakers may just not have enough stuff. The Pelicans and the league may just think that their players aren't good enough, because the history of the league is you don't break a dollar into 4 quarters unless you have to. Now, the Pelicans may be in a position where they have to, but they may look at Ingram and Lonzo and Kuzma and go, that ain't even 4 quarters or 3 quarters. They may be looking at that, and it's just, because the Lakers have offered them everything they have. Lakers are like, look, here, you can have everything, and we'll take back a terrible contract. How would that even work with Solomon Hill being taken back? The question for the Lakers, if the deal were to go through, is Josh Hart and Zubac enough to package with what would be Hill's expiring deal to get a 3rd excellent player? Probably not. I mean, that's how desperate the Lakers are to make this happen. They're like, you can have everything we got. We'll just wind up with 2 great players instead of 3.
And fill it out with a bunch of minimum wage players if we have to.
And by the way, so the Lakers may just not have enough stuff. But if I'm wrong about that, and people are like, no, we think Lonzo's got potential and Ingram's good and Kuzma's already obviously good. If I'm wrong about that, then why else wouldn't it happen? This is not just about the players. As you said, Stephen A., this is about more. This is bigger than Nino Brown, right? This is about labor relations with the league. This is about the league showing the players and the agents who's boss. Think about this from the player's point of view and the agent, Rich Paul's point of view with Anthony Davis. Imagine you're Anthony Davis. You are the best on earth at what you do in an endeavor where literally every single person on earth who can play in the NBA is playing in the NBA. It's almost not hyperbolic. If you can play in the NBA, why wouldn't you? It's fun. It's not dangerous like football. You have a long career. You make millions of dollars, the whole thing. And you're the best, one of the best ever. You worked your whole life to get there. And on top of that, you're a genetic freak, and you finally get there. You have no choice where you play the first really 7 years of your career because there's so much financial incentive to stay put from the CBA. After 7 years, you're free to go, but you're not really free. You got to leave $80 million on the table if you're a max contract player in order to leave. So what are the agents and the players doing? They're like, okay, timeout. We'll stay 5.5 years without choice, really, where we're drafted. After 5.5 years, we're going to try and force a trade. Why? Or 6 years, we're going to try and force a trade. Why? Because then we're eligible for the supermax in the market that we choose. That's rational. Like, the league can't pretend that the players are behaving irrationally. They're trying to use whatever leverage is available to them so that at some point in their career, they may play where they choose without losing almost $100 million.